Grand Slam winner Gary Player saw this area of the Grand Strand. He absolutely fell in love with it and knew he had to build his first golf course in the state of South Carolina right here. Welcome to Links Illustrated. We're at the Blackmore Golf Club. It's a fun and challenging golf course where risk-reward opportunities are abundant. We're going to make your golf game a lot better, so stay tuned.
From Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, the golf capital of the world, welcome to Links Illustrated with your host, Hugh Royer.
I've had to answer so many questions from amateurs and professionals alike about how can I fix my backswing, or how can you help me smooth out my through swing or my whole swing. There's a drill that we use at the Champions Golf Academy that I use it with my tour players, the college players, the junior golfers, as well as the average amateur player. And it's a very simple drill, but it helps you to understand and feel where the club should be throughout your backswing and your downswing all the way to your finish. So if you think about positions, sometimes they can be very mechanical. They can consume your brain to where you almost, you get in a kind of a fog where you're confused and you don't know what to do. But this drill will make it extremely simple. What you're going to do is you're going to take your normal grip, get it in your fingers, boom, right there, make your grip look nice and neutral. And then you're going to stick your pointer finger right down the shaft, okay? Just like you see people putt and they put their finger down the shaft, you're going to do it with this drill. The beauty of this is, putting that finger there, is it allows you to feel where that club goes throughout your backswing when you're doing this drill. So you're going to set up, good posture, good grip, you got your finger down the shaft, and then at our academy we work off of an 8-step process. There's 8 steps in the swing. The first step is obviously your setup, good posture. And as you come back, step 2 or position 2 is that position right there. You can see the grip is over my right toe. The club head is still outside my hands. It's not getting way in. I'm not going way out. All I'm doing when I move to P2 is I'm turning my chest and my shoulders. My hands and arms are doing absolutely nothing, all right? You want your hands to be quiet and passive throughout the golf swing. The more your hands are active, the less your big muscles or your body can work, okay? So, from that being said, we're going to go from position 1 to position 2, and then position 3, which to me is one of the more critical ones. You can see it's right in front of the right side of my chest, and the finger is right here. If it gets too deep, you can see the club lays on that finger. If it gets too much like this, your finger is actually pushing the club. So, that's the beauty of that finger. So you're basically going to go 2, 3, set the club, you check your position, and then you're just going to turn and swing nice and smooth, nice and easy. When you're practicing on drills, trying to work on your backswing, trying to correct something, always do it ultra slow, ultra smooth. Don't go at it hard and fast. The more you tense up, the less your muscles are going to work and the less they're going to remember. So you're going to keep doing the same habits. So slow and smooth, take your time. Remember, that ball's not going to move until you hit it. So relax, go through your motion, trust your technique and what you're working on, and let it start to develop. If you will do that, I promise you, your golf game will get a lot better at a lot quicker pace. awful weird putting through the shadow. I can't stand putting across my shadow. Let's just focus on your point. Hit a good putt. Let's make this thing. Well, close. But as you can see, putting here in my shadow, it's aggravating. All right, it's one of those things where when you set up over your putt, you see the shadow of the putter, your body, and the shadow of the putter head and the shaft is all moving. It can be extremely distracting. So the main thing here, and what I tried to do in the first one, and obviously wasn't that successful, but what you want to do is when you line up this putt, and when you look at it, and you go through your routine, you're going to find a spot to putt over. Well, I've got a slight bit of green grass, real light green grass here in front of the ball, and I've got an old ball mark that we fixed right here. And what I'm trying to do is to get the ball to start just right of this grass and over that ball mark. So if I can do that and hit the right speed, the ball should break a little right to left and go right in the hole. As good as these greens are, the first one, that was a personal problem. So what we're going to do right here is try to focus on the spot that we've picked out and try to stay steady and hit a good putt, and try not to focus and think too much about the shadow itself. Boom. Better luck the second time always. He always makes it. So focus on a spot anywhere from 3, 4, 5 inches, 6 inches in front of the ball. That way you know you can start your putter on that line and get the ball rolling at the target. That's the big thing, because you can focus on a point right there at the ball and not your shadow and the moving parts. If you will concentrate on this, I promise you, you'll make more putts and golf will be a lot more fun.
Links Illustrated is brought to you in part by MyrtleBeachGolf.com, golfers' #1 resource for everything Myrtle Beach Golf.
Here I am on the 18th hole at Blackmore. It's par 5, reachable for the longer hitters, but has a lot of risk reward to it, which is something that I think is fantastic for a par 5. But as you can see, I've driven it just through the fairway. I didn't quite turn it over enough off the tee. I'm in the rough, but I've got a ball sitting pretty well. I mean, it's not bad at all. But it is on a slight upslope, and the ball is slightly above my feet. This causes problems for everyone, but there's a very simple way to play this. The problem is you've got to learn to trust yourself and trust your technique to pull it off. But the thing that we're going to do, you can see when we set up in the slope, the ball's above my feet. I'm leaning back this way to the right, so I'm leaning up the hill slightly, not a lot, but slightly. So most people, when they hit this shot, they're worried about the ball going left. So they end up trying to hang back to try to keep it from going left, which honestly is quite the opposite. It makes it go even further to the left. So what you want to do when the ball's above your feet, because it tends to want to make the ball turn over from right to left, and plus the fact that I'm on an upslope, I'm going to set up, I'm going to aim directly at the flag, even though there's a lake and a bunker on the right. Trust me when I tell you this will work. And I'm going to set up at the flag, and I'm literally going to try to hit a cut shot. So I'm going to take the club outside, I'm going to cut across it, but I'm going to aim straight. With the result of the slope and the upslope and the ball above my feet, it's going to help this ball go straight, okay? So with that being said, I'm going to aim at the flag. I'm going to take the club outside, I'm going to cut across, and the ball should go fairly straight. Even though you've got an upslope, it's going to help you hit it in the air. you want to take the club to the outside going back and cut across coming down. Because of the angle of the ball above your feet, when you cut across, it'll help the ball go much straighter. But if you try to swing with the heel, that's when you're really going to hook it, and it's going to make you want to stay back to try to catch it. Instead of hitting it fat, you're going to try to stay back and keep it from going to the left, and it's going to make it go even more. So remember, trust your technique, trust the shot. If you're going to hit a bad one, make it a good one, all right? So if it's going in the water, make it go deep in the water. Don't be afraid and try to steer it. Trust your technique, trust your shot. And when you pull it off, you'll feel a lot better about your golf game. Focus on the peak for the break. That's the breaking point, good speed. A little too hard. What we're doing right here on the green is we've got a putt that it probably breaks 6 to 8 feet from right to left. And we're about 35, 40 feet from the hole. The main thing we're trying to do is get the ball to the breaking point, which when you see the ball up there on the green, that is kind of the peak or the actual summit of the breaking point, where when it gets to that point, it will start to move left towards the hole. Obviously, the first one that you saw me hit the flag that we've laid down about 2.5 feet behind the hole, because that's where we want to have the ball end up, is somewhere, if it doesn't go in, anywhere from 2 to 2.5 feet behind the hole. That means we've had good speed, we've given it an opportunity to go in, and it makes it a lot easier to be able to feel it. Because what happens, amateur golfers struggle so much with these long putts as opposed to when you watch the tour players on television. Now granted, your surfaces aren't quite as hard and fast as they are on tour, but you've got to be able from this distance to get the ball within 2 feet of the hole so that you have an opportunity to two putt. So what we're going to do when setting up putting, we're obviously going to set up a slight bit on our left side. I'm going to aim right at that ball up there on the top of that slope, and I'm going to try to get the speed with my shoulders and my back muscles, not my hands. I'm not going to get flippy and wristy. I'm going to feel like my shoulders and my back muscles are what move this putter and get the stroke to where it's nice and smooth and flowing. So you can see by focusing on that actual, the summit or the peak of that breaking, of the arc of the break, when it gets to that point, you see how the ball actually loses speed and starts moving down towards the hole. That's what you want to try to do. You don't want to be saying, okay, there's the hole, it's going to break, okay, no. Be more specific. Give yourself an aiming point that allows you to hit the best possible putt, whether you can make it or whether you can get it up there so you can tap it in, because you don't want to be three putting. Because remember, the name of the game in golf is 29 putts and below. If you can do that, you're going to play pretty well.
Links Illustrated is brought to you in part by teeuptomorrow.com. Log on today and tee up tomorrow.
One of the main problems that amateur golfers have, no matter who they are or how long they've played golf, is shifting their weight properly throughout their golf swing. With all the new stuff that's going on nowadays with teaching technologies, from the stack and tilt to one plane, two plane, people just get so confused, and I mean, they really get into a bad state. So I want to show you a drill that's very simple. For all of you that have played Baseball, this will be very simple. The only difference is the ball is on the ground on a tee instead of moving and being up here at basically waist level. But it's the same thing. I mean, you hit a baseball, you set up, you step in, and you shift your weight and drive through. Well, same thing with a golf ball. I mean, it's hitting a baseball, hitting a golf ball is so similar, it's not even funny. It's just different planes. And like I said earlier, the ball in golf is stationary, where in baseball, obviously, it's moving. But what you want to do, too many people you see don't shift their weight and get loaded over their right side here so that they can shift and turn back through. Too many guys stand up and they go this way and their weight's all on their left side, which we call an inverted position. So coming down into the ball, the weight has to go up and back. Well, there comes the over the top and across, off the toe, off the heel, just not a consistent pattern. So the one thing that I try to do is to make sure that everybody can do a proper pivot to where they turn and they load over their right side, okay? Drill, which we call the step back and through drill, is basically you're gonna step up, you're gonna come back and step through. So you can see how my left foot clicks off my right, and then I step through and swing. Again, very slow, very smooth, very easy, so that you can feel what you're trying to create and break the habit you're trying to change, okay? So when you set up here, nice and smooth, 1, 2. And you can see my weight is all on my left side. I can lift this toe and tap it, and I'm standing here on my left foot. That is a proper weight shift. That's a great drill to teach yourself how to move back and move through. Now, a lot of people say, oh, you're swaying. We try to exaggerate everything so that we can break and change a habit, okay? And so, yeah, it might be a little excess of movement going back and going through, but it gives you that sensation. No different than throwing a punch. If you're gonna hit somebody, you're boxing, you're not gonna hit them and come back here on this back foot. You're gonna go from right to left and you're gonna knock them out. Same thing here. So shift your weight properly. Over your right side, boom, follow through over your left. You learn to shift your weight, you will not only pick up distance, but you will improve your accuracy. So work on this, and I hope it helps you. Well, here we are at Blackmore on the 15th hole. Just a gorgeous par 3. I mean, you can see how it goes across the wetland, you got the tall oak trees. It's gorgeous. And the thing that appeals to me with this hole is it reminds me of a green that you would see on the PGA Tour. It's just one of those that you can see how it moves from left to right and away from you. The pin's in that back right back there. It's just one of those holes that it can be extremely challenging no matter how good of a player you are or how much of just a weekend warrior you happen to be. So what we want to do here is we've got 150 yards where we're standing to that back pin. It's in the back right. You can see the 3 pot bunkers in the side of the hill, just on the other side of the wetland area, the hazard. We're going to take 2 clubs. I can hit my 8-iron 155 yards. I can hit my 7-iron 165. But the key of what I want to do here is I don't want to stand here and try to blast an 8-iron and carry it back there towards that pin, because it brings too many elements involved. If I push it, it could go in the bunker, or it could hit the hill and run down into the hazard. I could pull it and have it to the left over here and have a very difficult pitch over the hill in the back and in the slope in the green. So I'm gonna take a 7-iron and I'm gonna hit it nice and smooth, basically a 3/4 7-iron, and try to take it and start it in the middle of the green and work it back towards that back right pin placement. So let's see what we can do. Not quite enough cut, but close. I've got it in there probably, I would say it's in the neighborhood of 15 feet just left of the flag. Hit it right at that big hump and it cut just a little bit, not quite what I was looking for, but I've got an opportunity to make a birdie and definitely a chance to make par and move on. But this is an absolutely gorgeous hole here at Blackmore, and it's kind of one of those that when you see it, it's the one that you're gonna remember. So when you come to Myrtle Beach, you've got to come play Blackmore, because there's so many holes just like this one that are extremely challenging, even for the top players and the weekend warriors. So come in and have a good time, and I promise you, you will enjoy this golf course.
Links Illustrated is brought to you in part by the Waccamaw Golf Trail. 12 spectacular golf courses designed by the world's most celebrated architects. Located just south of Myrtle Beach, the Waccamaw Golf Trail is a journey through historic plantations, natural beauty, and southern hospitality.
The next time you're in the Myrtle Beach Grand Strand area to play golf, make sure that the Gary Player Design Blackmore Golf Club is on your list. I hope the insight that we've given you today to help you with your golf swing will help improve your game. So until next time, we'll see you right here on Links Illustrated.